Hello my fellow critters, I'm Batty Bumpkin, but you can call me Batty, and on today's video we will be covering the sequel to the cult classic Phantasmagoria, Phantasmagoria 2 Puzzle of Flesh. Released only a year later by Sierra Online on November 26, 1996. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay updated on upcoming videos. And without further ado, let's get her to it, shall we? Our story begins with our protagonist Curtis Craig being wheeled into a psychiatric ward to forcibly receive electroshock therapy. The game cuts to the present a year later after Curtis has been released from the mental institution. Curtis is a quiet 26-year-old man who is currently working at Wintech, a large pharmaceutical company in Seattle. He lives alone with his beloved pet rat Blob, who, while not a major part of the story, is clearly best girl.
Gotcha. Oh, very good. All right.
The player is introduced to several key characters in the story: his boss Tom, his gay BFF Trevor, his girlfriend Jocelyn, his nympho co-worker Therese.
Oh, hey, Therese. How are you?
Horny.
Excuse me?
And his a-hole of a co-worker Bob. Curtis's everyday life is rapidly disrupted as hallucinations, nightmares, visions, and disturbing memories attack his consciousness. These include visions of his abusive mother, traumatic recollections of his childhood, and cryptic, haunting messages in his email. Curtis confides in Trevor, revealing that he has forgotten major events in his life, including the suicide of his own mother. With encouragement from Trevor, he seeks the help of Dr. Harburg, a therapist who helps uncover the layers of his repressed trauma, including more memories of his mother's abuse, which in one instance involved forcing him to wear a dress in an attempt to make him less of a little monster.
Oh, damn, this is hard. Not long before my mother killed herself, she started dressing me up as a little girl.
Pretty dress. It just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how I dress you still be a monster. Pretty little monster girl. Monster. Oh, Curtis.
That very dress disturbingly reappears in a toolbox found inside a blocked-off storage room at Wintech, alongside confidential documents referencing a classified company operation known as Project Threshold. While investigating the source of these disturbances, later in the game, Bob is found gruesomely murdered, his body discovered in Curtis's cubicle. The act is particularly suspicious given that Curtis has openly expressed disdain for Bob. Curtis is interrogated by Detective Powell, who begins to suspect him due to his erratic behavior and mental health history.
Your crimes.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, no one.
Curtis starts to question his own involvement, unsure whether the vivid hallucinations are the result of a psychotic relapse or something worse.
I didn't kill anyone.
Of course you did.
Throughout the game, Curtis's mental stability further deteriorates as he becomes more increasingly haunted by more horrific visions, including being tortured in an asylum, hallucinations of his own body being mutilated, and a shadowy demonic figure that claims to be part of him.
What are you?
Don't you recognize me, Curtis? I'm just a part of your own twisted mind.
These experiences intensify after he becomes more involved with Therese and is introduced to the underground S&M scene at a club called Borderline. Though Curtis tries to distance himself from her, Therese aggressively pursues him, culminating in a bizarre, non-consensual sex scene that further unravels his sense of identity.
Don't you dare.
I think you're a good boy, Curtis. A very good boy indeed.
As more people around him are murdered, including his manager Tom and eventually Therese, Curtis is left as the prime suspect. Detective Powell continues to question him, growing increasingly hostile.
And just for the record, who gave you this information? Space aliens?
Get out. Get the hell out!
Fine, but I'll be back, you son of a bitch! I'll be back to nail your ass to the wall!
While Curtis struggles to make sense of the growing violence and his role in it, Curtis breaks into Warner's office at Wintech. Uncovering documentation about Project Threshold, a decades-old experiment to open a rift to another dimension, Dimension X, hidden beneath the company building. The project originally used mental patients as test subjects. The experiment was discontinued after the military lost interest, but Warner revived it, hoping to exploit the otherworldly inhabitants for commercial gain. What was his plan? To exchange human lives in return for chemicals that could be synthesized into powerful pharmaceuticals, particularly a highly addictive antidepressant called the Venomin. Meanwhile, Dr. Harburg becomes concerned for his safety and sanity, but is also murdered under mysterious circumstances.
Dr. Harburg?
Beautiful work, Curtis. Just spectacular.
The Good Doctor is truly your masterpiece.
Trevor has also been investigating the mysterious happenings at Wintech and informs Curtis of his findings and that he's calling the cops. A tender moment is shared between the two before being interrupted by an entity that attacks Trevor.
You know I love you.
Curtis tries to save him but is unsuccessful. After a brief mourning and the entity's taunting, he collects Trevor's ID. Curtis uses Trevor's ID to gain access to the basement and discovers the ugly truth. He is not the original Curtis, but a clone, an alien duplicate who crossed over from Dimension X. Hi, Future Batty here. I needed to interject to fill you in on a key plot to the story that I somehow forgot to mention in my initial script for this video. Curtis's father, Jonas Craig, was also an employee at Wintech. In the same toolbox that contains address from his traumatic past, there is a letter addressed to Curtis from his father, explaining that not only did he work at Wintech, but was one of the scientists working on Project Threshold. Jonas wanted to leave, but was threatened by Warner, and the promise of Curtis getting the best schooling and medical care was used as an incentive for him to stay and finish the project, but they murdered him after the project's completion anyway. The real Curtis had been trapped there as a child after he was thrown into the dimension by Warner. Mutated and enraged, the original Curtis became the shadowy manifestation tormenting the clone, engineering the murders and hallucinations to destabilize his double and retake his life on Earth. In a climatic sequence, the clone Curtis, our Curtis, escapes to Dimension X, battles the mutated original, and finally defeats him using synthesized alien materials and the guidance of scattered memories. The game ends with Curtis returning to Earth where Jocelyn awaits, now fully aware of his dark origin, somehow. The final decision is left to the player: stay on Earth with Jocelyn or return to Dimension X where he belongs.
Hello, Warner. The doorway has been damaged. We believe it has become unstable. We wish the twin to return to us. It does not belong on your side.
Ending A. Curtis leaves. Curtis chooses to return to Dimension X, acknowledging that he no longer belongs on Earth. He shares a heartfelt goodbye with Jocelyn before disappearing. Ending B. Curtis stays. Curtis remains and is shown having dinner with Jocelyn at a restaurant. As they talk, the camera pans to Curtis's hand underneath the table, which morphs into a grotesque blob before snapping back. A post-credits scene reveals that after Warner was attacked by the manifestation of the original Curtis, his severed head is still alive, suspended in Dimension X. Lorelei Shannon, known for her work on King's Quest VII and The Dagger of Amun-Ra, was chosen to write and design Phantasmagoria, A Puzzle of Flesh, shifting the series from supernatural horror to psychological horror with sci-fi elements. Influenced by Edgar Allan Poe, Shirley Jackson, and the film Seven, the game features a modern urban setting and themes reminiscent of Jacob's Ladder. Unlike the original, which used blue screen, A Puzzle of Flesh was filmed mostly on real sets in Seattle between February and September 1996. Shot on digital Betacam with a 200-plus page script, the game includes over 4.5 hours of footage and had a budget of around $4 million. For a while, Sierra Online was planning Phantasmagoria 3 and had asked Roberta Williams to return as its lead programmer, but due to the commercial disappointment of Puzzle of Flesh, along with the decline of the adventure game and FMV genre, the project was cancelled. Although I am biased towards the original, I do see the charm in A Puzzle of Flesh. I loved the special effects and the story kept me interested enough. There were even a couple of absurd moments throughout the game that made me laugh.
Get out of here.
I just want to have a drink with my friend.
I said get out of here.
The game also features some nods towards the original. The actress for Harriet, B. Joy Lee, made an appearance as a mental patient, and Adrian is even mentioned in an advert in the mail for a book signing.
Bridget's Books is proud to welcome best-selling author Adrienne Delaney. Ms. Delaney will be signing copies of her latest book, Coping with Loss. She's pretty.
Curtis's actor Paul Morgan Stelter actually has a channel here on YouTube where he uploads Let's Plays and shares more about his experiences on the set of A Puzzle of Flesh. I wanted to take a moment to thank my supporters for your patience and would love some creepy recommendations for what you'd be interested in hearing me break down next. But in the meantime, do you think A Puzzle of Flesh holds up to the original or stands perfectly on its own? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, stay batty!